And welcome back to the channel, everyone. I did promise last month that I would go ahead and start getting caught up on some of these champs that we were a little bit behind on. So this month we are going to be talking about Silk, Kindred, Vox, Photon, and finally the Ironman buff. So we'll be discussing all those champs today. And we will go ahead and start off with Silk. So Silk is actually fairly decent to the attack portion. She's not too bad on defense, but attack side she's actually pretty decent once you get know her rotation. She does not need the dexterity mastery to dodge attacks. However, if you do have it active, she ends up gaining additional crit rating. She reduces incoming slow and rupture debuffs by 90%, making her good counters to champs like Sassy and Lady Deathstrike. She has 100% to evade specials. Now, once this is activated, it goes on a 25-second cooldown or 20 hits, whichever comes first. And it can make her a little bit annoying to fight in that aspect, because as long as that evade is active, then you're not going to hit any of the specials. But she can be countered, and that evade can be deactivated by striking her with a critical hit. So, not too bad. She has easy access to placing physical vulnerability debuffs. If an opponent is, once they have it on him, Silk will stun him when charging heavy attack. Kind of similar to how Doom works with his heavy mid combo. And has a shock debuff on them. So as long as they have that rupture, you can go ahead and for like a 4-hit combo, hold that heavy and to stun them, and then go ahead and hit them. Kind of the same thing. Now to use her, the best way to do it is if she has a relic equipped. So if you use like the medium light thing, and then do the heavy intercept to activate the relic. Or you do the heavy, you'll like halfway through you do the hit, you activate the relic, and then you do another combo with the heavy, and then interrupt that with a special 2, and it just does an amazing amount of damage. When she is awakened, she can apply the slow. She can apply slow, and when the opponent is back up against the wall or when knocked down, this slow debuff will also make the opponent suffer about 150% regeneration rate. So it's kind of best to have her awakened. Now, for the attack side, we're going to be adding her to rank A. I think she has enough damage in her and fairly easy to use in order to get that rank there. And on the defense side, we're going to put her as B. She didn't get too many ranks or too many votes on the defense side. Average is about maybe placing champs on a C, but she does have that annoying ability to evade specials. So for now, we're going to put her as a B. All right, and then on to the next champ. So we're going to talk about Kindred. So Kindred is um, very interesting champ for sure. He seems to be better on defense than attack overall. So great defender. He is poison, incinerate, intimidate, and infuriate immune, and also heal block immune. So he'll almost a direct counter to Hercules. Um, he can reduce opponents' buff durations by his atrophy passives. When he has a bit of and he does have a little bit of a weakness against Spider Verse champs, so that's kind of his main counter there, just bringing in a Spider Verse champ. Kindred does deal a good portion of his damage with the use of his infestation charges and his nightmare outbreak, causing massive degeneration damage. When the degen is active, Kindred will start to regenerate health. Now, to counter this, it's recommended to knock him down with a heavy attack, making his nightmare outbreak expire up to 70% faster. It is highly recommended to have him at a high sig, as his degen potency could be up to 80% stronger based on his missing health. And he also gives him the ability to root the opponent. So on the list here, attack side, we're just putting him on the C rank here. He's okay. He can do some decent damage, but there's a lot of stuff in between there that makes him maybe a little bit more difficult to use. And if you get a champ that does happen to have that uh, resistance to degeneration, it doesn't really help him much. On the defense side, though, we're going to place him as an A. He's pretty much right at the top there. He's very annoying to fight. Yeah, that's where we're going to end up putting him on there. Okay, on to Vox. So Vox overall has some decent damage. You need to basically gain personal corrupted buffs, and then you basically launch your special, turn them into massive degeneration on your opponent, and then that will increase, and that damage will increase over time that it's active. He's kind of have a similar playstyle to Gallon, but instead of using the medium light medium rotations, kind of like that. You'll basically kind of stack and turn your dexterity buffs into more corrupted precision buffs. You can then steal those degeneration buffs back by launching special attack while they're still active. It'll turn them into corrupted intensity buffs for yourself. Then you can launch a special 3 attack when you're max corrupted buffs. It'll pretty much annihilate anyone you're up against. When he is awakened, the degen damage will also be increased too, so probably a little bit recommended there. Probably at high sig. Attack wise, we're gonna kind of put him as a B. He, like I said, he can do some pretty massive damage, but I think the rotations on some of his stuff might be a little tight. So if you don't get like launch your special attack and steal those degens back, you're like you got to start the whole process over again. So it takes a little bit to ramp him up, but um, if people feel that he needs to be an A, we can always re-rank him and put him up a little bit higher. Um, Defense side, we're gonna put him as a C. Um, he's not too hard to counter as long as you bring in the right rotation or the right champion and have the right rotation with it. But he has so many corrupted buffs on him. He's just mystic food in general, so not that hard to fight. Okay, on to Photon. So Photon is a really great defender, but she does need to be awakened for the best results on defense, as she'll place debuffs on the opponents when attacked. She is immune to bleed and power steal. When she gets stunned, she also gains an unblockable passive. She can also parry non-contact attacks. So champs like Ironman, Infinity War won't be as much of a problem as he normally is. All of her attacks deal energy damage, and her medium attacks cannot miss. She can also apply suppression, petrify, and energy vulnerability debuffs with ease. When she is in pure light form, you can't evade her attacks, and her special attacks are unblockable. So you really want to avoid that because you will get annihilated. And if you're not bringing in the right champs or don't got the right rotation to take her down, yeah, you will just instantly die. It hurts pretty bad, and she's really annoying in defense because of it. She also has a little bit of regeneration access with her special 3, but it doesn't do that much damage, so it's more or less just there for the regeneration. Um, she can also kind of carry over her pure light form charges between fights, kind of like what Captain Marvel movie does. You can carry those charges over. This one's kind of the same way too. She doesn't necessarily. Um, it's not like with Captain Marvel movie you can do a heavy attack and gain more charges back. These ones you can kind of pause the charges a little bit, but they don't really add back up there. So on attack we're gonna put it as a C for right now on. Just because we actually didn't get enough votes for her, so we'll kind of maybe revisit her in the later months here, but we're going to put on average here. No one seemed to really have too much of an opinion on how well she was doing or how bad for that aspect of it. But defense, absolutely an A. She is very annoying to fight, so well deserved there. Um, and finally, we're going to go to the Ironman buff. Now, this man has been part of the original roster since this game started. This buff has been really needed for quite a long time now, and they really did good by him. So, really kind of hoping to see some more buffs to the original like Captain America and stuff like that, and see how well that does. But for now, they did good on him. He's immune to cold snap, frostbite, and incineration as long as you have an armor up buff, which is fantastic against champs like Bishop. He's almost a direct counter to that man. Um, Ironman can now block unblockable specials from any mutants. Also has easy access to applying armor up or armor break debuffs. You can gain an armor up buff for every 5 hits in your combo meter, and your armor up buff cannot be nullified by any mystics. Now it can fall off normally, and I believe it could still be nullified and stuff like that, depending on what's placed in them, or not nullified. I can't think of the right one now, but yeah, but it basically Mystic Champs just can't steal it like that. So if they do naturally expire, the opponent is power locked for 0.20 seconds. So it does kind of directly counter that Mystic Dispersion mastery right away. So if you have a couple points in that and those armor buffs fall off, Mystic Champs aren't going to gain any power, which is kind of nice. More armor up buffs will increase his damage overall. Each hit will invalidate 3 prowess and will deal a burst of direct damage. So it's not nullifying, it's invalidating it, some sort of new mechanic there, but all you need to know is it removes prowess and does extra damage. So perfect. He gets a massive armor increase during the opponent's special attacks. He also has a massive regen boost, but the downside to this is it only activates once per quest. But since he's pretty tanky with his armor up buffs, if you're playing him right, hopefully you won't need it. Now, originally on attack, he was a rank F. He is now a rank A. He's got some great damage output, even if it's not a mutant he's versing. So it's really good to see a buff like this on an original champ of the game. So I'm looking forward to see what they could do with some of the other ones. On the defense side, not much of a change. He can be a little bit more annoying, but it's not overall, he's not going to be known as a defender. But he's going from rank F on defense to rank C, which is about average. So, but yeah, other than that, that is it. That's the updated tier list. Everyone should be added on here. Um, Added a few more links to the how to and immunities chart. Um, and yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it. So I really appreciate you all for watching. Thank you very much. Please hit that like and please subscribe. We are trying to get that 500 subscriber limit so we can apply to be part of the content creator program. And once we get that, we can get early access to some of the newer champs, and then I can push out more videos. And it's just going to be, and maybe I'll even do some live streams once this champ comes out, and we'll take suggestions live and see how this champ performs. So, but yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.